Hey guys, I haven't done one of these in like 2 weeks. My bad. Anyways, look, can you tell? Yeah, you can tell. It hurts. It hurts to move. It does look better than it did yesterday though, but ow. Where's sunscreen? I wore sunscreen, but the sunscreen got rubbed off, and now I'm in pain. I mean, it does hurt, but it looks worse than it is, honestly. So, today I want to talk about being a woman on the internet, women in the internet, and all that good stuff. So, pretty much, if you're a woman and you get online on anything, any of the social medias, on anything at all, you're gonna get shit on. And the majority of the people doing like the shitting on and just being terrible are men, unfortunately. And even if you're like, just post pictures of cute puppies and cats and you never state your opinion on anything, never post pictures of yourself, nothing, you're still gonna get hate from people, from just horrible people for no reason at all, because apparently that's a fun thing to do or whatnot, and I don't know, it's how they get their kicks or something. I don't know. I finally hung up that painting. Will I ever frame it? I don't know. And Black Widow just chilling. But yeah, so and it's even worse if you are outspoken and have an opinion on things, about things online. Like on Twitter, I'm quite political because and on my personal Facebook page, because there's a lot of just horrible things going on that I don't agree with, that put my livelihood and my safety and shit on the line because of decisions that are being made that I have no control over. So that's super fun. Love that. It's great. So I am very outspoken about them. And that has gotten people should try to argue with me. And I'm just like, no, we're not doing this. Because I learned, like, during the 2016 election, arguing with people who are just trying to be rude and hateful is completely waste of your time. And you're just like, and when you're telling me, you're like, this is my life, this is about life or death for me. It's not, a Democrat, Republican thing or something like that. And like, they're coming from a place where they will never, this thing will never affect them or barely affect them. They're like, well, it doesn't affect me, so why are you all upset about it? And I'm like, X, Y, and Z, and like, go fuck yourself. And then they get mad and they're like, and you just ignore them, and then they finally go away. They act like children. They act like toddlers throwing a temper tantrum, and the best way to get a child to stop is to ignore them, because that's all they're doing it to get attention, and not good attention. They're just like, pay attention to me! You're like, no, just shut up. So, that's how you gotta treat a lot of it. And outside of that, just in like the cosplay stuff, I have and like on Twitch streaming, and this is why I haven't streamed in a while. I just have terrible internet and it cuts off, and I just don't like dealing with it. I don't like being like 30 minutes into a stream and then my internet just decides to stop working and ends the stream, and I'm just like, okay. So that's why I haven't been streaming. But on streams, I have been called a whore. I've been called, and that was like the first time that's happened, and I'm sure it was by some 12-year-old who thinks he's real cool for saying it. I'm just like, I don't care. You'll find out real quick, kid, that that's not how you talk to people. And if you keep talking to people, you're not gonna have at least good quality friendships. And it's just gonna be a real shit show for you if you keep doing that. But I'm swearing a lot in this video. more so than normal. And but on other things, like I've been called a bitch. Someone attempted to fat shame me in my Sydney cosplay. I posted it to a Final Fantasy fan site or fan page, and everyone's like, and it was like Dragon Con last year, and everyone's like, oh, it looks so great, you know, blah blah blah. And then I was like, I got on, and it was like a ton of those, like, you look great, oh, it looks fantastic, you know, just being really great and supportive. And then I just saw him just like, Christye, you're an amazing human being. Don't listen to this person. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh God, what happened? And I went through and he was like trying to like fat shame me and shit. And I laughed so hard. I was like, dude, you're not doing anything to me. And he's like, well, I wasn't. And he was like, he was trying to gaslight me when I called him out on it. And I was like, and told him his opinion didn't matter to me. It didn't bother me. And it's funny, a lot of these people, they never have pictures of themselves. This dude's picture was of a waterfall. Yeah, they like really? You're gonna try to shame me when you won't even show your face? Real cute. And it was just hilarious. And I love that all these people were like coming in to like back me up and shit. And I'm just like, I'm not bothered, guys. Because, I mean, for me anyways, since I've had bad relationships and I've dealt with far worse than anything anybody can throw at me on the internet, it really does not bother me when somebody does that to me. I mean, I've been told to go kill myself and, you know, fat shame and all this, and I'm just like, is your life really that sad? You really have nothing better to do with your time? That's my thought process on it. And I'm just like, you're just pathetic. Like, you're not cute, you're not funny. You're just being a piece of shit, and it just reflects poorly on you. It says nothing of me. But it does bother me in the sense that this happens to women all over the place. It happens, like I said, to people who just post cute pictures of cats and dogs, and they still get hate for no fucking reason. I love how I like censored myself, and then I was like, nope, forget about it. It doesn't matter. But and that's what bothers me, is that about men. Women do it too. Women hate on other women. Women hate on men too. I'm not saying they don't. It's just primarily the specific type of man that I've come encounter with. That are very immature, and a lot of times it is like 12-year-olds who hear this language from older siblings or people like that, or other people online, and they're like, oh, you know, it's a cool thing to do. It's a cool thing to do because, you know, they look up to these people. When it's not at all. It's actually really terrible and shitty, and you will never get fucking a girlfriend or laid or anything if you keep acting like that. But it's that nice guy persona thought process, so that type of guy that these insults and stuff come from a lot. Often incels are, I think, like the term for them now. I don't know. I don't pay attention to most of it, but it's actually gotten better in the last few years, believe it or not. In 2014, it's when it got really bad. It was like it hit its peak of really bad because of Gamergate, and, you know, these assholes, because they had nothing better to do with their time and were mad that, you know, women were, I mean, it's not even really about gaming, but women in the game were coming up more in the gaming community and stuff like that, and people were like harassing our queen, Felicia Day, and like people were doxing people. Like people were stalking her, issuing her death threats. They were coming to her house. She had to get like restraining orders and shit, and it's just like, because she was vocal about playing video games and being like, hey, you should be a nice person. It blew my mind. Like, it's absolutely insane. She's one of the sweetest, funny, and most intelligent people ever, to grace us with her presence. So, and this was happening to like bigger gamers, celebrities, and, you know, like, just everyday people who play video games. And that is absolutely terrible. It's like, your life is so boring, and your toxic masculinity and your masculinity is so fragile. You can't handle someone you don't even know, that you will never meet in your life, playing a video game, or, you know, being in even like a tech sphere, the internet sphere. That completely baffles me. And that's what it kind of all comes back down to, is toxic masculinity and fragile masculinity. And it's just like, why are you so scared that somebody's going to emasculate you because they're minding their own business, that you have to go and do and make death threats and just be a horrible, horrible person? And it's just like, and it doesn't even matter at this point if you are outspoken or not, like I've been mentioning. It's kind of like, well, I might as well be outspoken because you're gonna say horrible things anyways, so I'm gonna stand up and be like, that's not okay, it doesn't hurt me, you're just making yourself look like a piece of shit. And a lot of these people, like I mentioned earlier, the nice guy, like, oh, I'm a nice guy, but I just can't get a date, you know, I do all this, blah, blah, blah. Or men who say they're a gentleman. If you have to say you're nice, or you're a gentleman, or something like that, you're not. You're 100% not. And as soon as you say that, that's a red flag, and I'm getting out of that real quick, because, like, if you are a nice guy, if you are a gentleman, your actions show it. You're not going to be being horrible to women online. You're not going to be horrible to women, period, or anyone, period. And being a gentleman or a nice guy does not just mean opening and holding the door open for people. I can get the door myself. My arms and hands work. If my arms aren't full and I get to the door first, I'm going to open the door. That does not make you a gentleman just because you ran in front of somebody to hold the door open. That shit pisses me off. If I get to the door first, let me open it. Because then I'm just going to hit you with the door. But, yeah, so you have, like, a lot of it is just this toxic masculinity type. And that's what bothers me, because you have, like, these, I mean, even, like, 40-year-olds do this. And, you know, it is more in the millennial range, in the older generations. I wouldn't say people in their 50s really know what's going on with this, or even in their mid to late 40s. But I would say, like, yeah, in the millennial range, in the older parts that are doing this, like I said, there's 12-year-olds and they're what, Gen X or so, I don't know. They're the ones eating Tide Pods or whatever, I don't know. But don't do that, by the way. It's detergent. Don't do it. You know not to put detergent in your mouth. Why would a Tide Pod be any different? Use your brain, please. Use it. But it's just like, get, I have some notes on my computer, sorry. Yeah, and it's just like, and there's that hashtag, or a lot of men try to be like there's that hashtag, yes, all men, because all men are capable of being terrible, if they don't take the steps of being a good person, of not being shitty and all that. And like I was saying earlier, sorry, I'm getting mixed up and jumbled. You have these older men in like their 20s to 40s on, you know, on like, what are the, multiplayer games, I guess. I don't play multiplayer games because why would I talk to people in real life? Like, I wouldn't do that. Please. They hear them being really terrible, and they're seeing them post things online, like these 12-year-olds that are calling people whores and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, well, and they're 12. They think it's funny, because, oh, bad words. And these, like, 25-year-olds don't realize the horrible influence they're being to these 12-year-olds. And the 12-year-olds don't learn any better, and they end up being the next 25-year-olds. And it just keeps going. And that's what bothers me the most about people attacking women online like this, or anyway, really. It's just that it's like an endless cycle. Doesn't seem to matter how much we're like, you know, that's not funny, that's not cute. these kids need to be taught better than that. You need to be a better influence. It just keeps going, and like that's the problem. And like the not with the yes all men is because all men are capable of being terrible. All women are capable of being terrible. But then there's that counter one is like not all men. It's just like you're completely missing the point. But it's like, yeah, not all men are calling women whores and fat shaming and being terrible, but are they stepping up? Are they being the example, the lead for these younger generations to follow and be like, oh no, this is how we should be. These other guys over here, they're not nice people. They're not good people. I should not be looking up to them. Are you guys stepping up and being the leadership that they need and creating better internet space for everyone? So nobody has to worry about death threats or anything like that. So yeah, that's kind of just my take. It's like when I get attacked online or just, you know, insulted, because I'm never really insulted by it online, I brush it off like on personal matters. Personally, I would just brush it off because it doesn't bother me. I'm like, that's the best you could come up with. We're talking about, you know, global warming and you can just call me a bitch. Okay. Really adds to the conversation. Really groundbreaking stuff, you guys. I just blown away by that argument, let me tell you. But yeah, so I'm just like, you're not adding anything to this conversation. I'm not, whatever. It's just like, bye. Just go away. So I mean, women, we're trying to be like, hey, that shit's not okay, you know, stop. But if you really are truly a gentleman or a nice guy and you're like, well, it's not all men, well, prove that, you know, step up to the plate, be like, hey, little kid, that's not okay. Stop listening to this Kyle over here who punches drywall and drinks Monster and energy drinks all the time. So yeah, I got some interesting articles I read on these. They are a bit older, like when Gamergate was happening in 2014, but they still unfortunately ring pretty true today, 5 years later. So I will link those down below, and stop being shitty to each other. Just stop. There's a billion different websites on the internet. Go find something to entertain yourself with, like, and just, you know, if you can't, that golden rule, treat others the way you want to be treated, and if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. There you go. Hopefully you take this lesson and go forth and be better people with it. And respect our Queen Felicia Day. But for real though, she's wonderful. Anyways, I will make sure you like and subscribe, all that good stuff, because it really helps out the channel. Helps building it. I'm at 40 subscribers now. I'd love to get to 50 in the next couple months, like by Dragon Con, this Labor Day weekend. That's a good 3 months from now. That would be fantastic. That would be awesome. I'm finally getting in a better schedule with things, so videos will be more consistent. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. I love you. Bye.